This is a LeetCode challenge number 283. It's called Move Zeros. They say here, given an integer array called nums, we need to move all the zeros to the end of the array, while maintaining the relative order of the non-zero elements. So we have to do this in place without making a copy of the array. So you can't just loop through your nums vector here and then copy all the values, the non-zero values into the other array and then fill the rest with 0. This whole algorithm, the solution, has to run on the input array or the input vector. So we're doing this in place without any copy of this array. So this here is my solution. So what I'm doing is creating a tracker int variable. I'm setting it to 0. And I'm going to use this as an index tracker. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to loop through this vector from the beginning until the end. And at every iteration, basically, I'm going to check if the current element at index I is a non-zero element. If it is, then I'm going to set it to its correct position inside of the array. So check this out. If tracker is 0 at first, then here I'm saying nums0 is going to be equal to nums I. Whatever non-zero element we have here will be switched to index 0. After that, I move tracker by 1, meaning that the next non-zero element will occupy index 1 in the array. And then I push tracker by 1 again, meaning the next non-zero element will occupy index 2 in my array, and so on. So by the time this for loop is done running, all the non-zero elements will be in order, not in ascending order or anything, but I mean they will be in order in terms of position from 0 all the way to n. Assuming we have n number of non-zero elements, then they are going to fill the beginning of the array. And now I'm going to have the some duplicates towards the end. So what I have to do is the remaining values, wherever tracker stopped, I need to fill the rest of my array from that tracker position up until the end. And I need to fill that with zeros, because this means that the zeros that were previously at the beginning now needs to move to the end of the array. So I'm doing this right here. Notice that the initializer here is tracker, but tracker was updated by this for loop. So I'm now moving tracker until the end of my array sequentially. And at every iteration, I'm setting the value there at the tracker index to 0 until the end. So let's run this code. We've passed the test case. One thing that I want to show you what is happening in the background. I'm having a small, just 2 lines of code to print what is happening. If you look again at these inputs, which is 0, 1, 0, 3, 12, what I'm doing here is that I'm first looping through my array here. When I reach this value, value 1, I'm pushing it, or rather I'm saying index 0, which is tracker here at first, should be the value 1. Then I meet the next non-zero element, which is 3, and I move it, or I make it equal to the element at index 1, meaning whatever value was at index 1 previously should now be 3, because 3 is a non-zero element. Then tracker was moved, it's now 2, meaning when I reach 12, then index 2 here should be equal to 12. Now I have 3 and 12 here, which have not been changed. So this second for loop, the second for loop in my solution, because this one doesn't really count. So this is the second for loop in my solution. Now is going to fill the last 2 positions in this input array with zeros. And this here is the expected outputs. And this is also the outputs that we got. So I'm going to remove this, otherwise it's going to slow down my solution. Just make sure that it's correct. So I'm running this code, and now I'm going to submit it. And we just passed the test case with reasonable running speeds. So that's it for the solution. This LeetCode challenge was LeetCode 283 called Move Zeros in C++. If you like my programming tutorials and my LeetCode solutions, please subscribe to my channel for more coding interview questions, and I'll catch you next time.